Have you ever wondered if the places where you store your money could be holding you back from true financial abundance? Without even realizing it, you might be tucking your savings away in spots that are not only failing to support prosperity, but could actually be attracting scarcity. Sounds surprising, right? In today's episode of Buddhist philosophy, we're about to unlock the secrets of 7 key areas in your home that, according to ancient Buddhist teachings, could be blocking the natural flow of wealth and well-being. Even better, I'll be sharing real-life stories that reveal how these overlooked spaces could be quietly draining the energy of money from your life. Stay with us until the very end, because what you're about to learn could completely transform the way you think about money and reshape your financial future. Just a few small changes in how you manage and store your money can open the door to exciting new levels of prosperity. But before we dive in, let's do something powerful together. Write in the comments right now, "I attract wealth and prosperity into my life." This simple act will activate positive energy, setting the intention to invite abundance into your world. Trust me, this one small step sends a huge message to the universe, aligning your mindset and your actions with your financial goals. Don't miss out on this chance to supercharge your path to success. Now, in Buddhism, we know that our connection with money is far more than just material. It's all about energy. The places where you store it can have a huge impact on how that energy flows. Just like water needs to move freely to stay fresh and vital, your money needs to be stored in a way that invites prosperity. Unfortunately, many of us are unknowingly keeping it in spaces that block this flow, creating energetic roadblocks that invite negativity and financial struggle. Curious to find out where these places might be? Let's dive in and discover them together. Place number 1, under the bed. Let me tell you a story about Sala, a woman from a small village near the mountains. Sala was known for her diligence and frugality. She didn't earn much, but she saved what little she had, hoping to improve her situation. One day, however, despite her efforts, unexpected expenses always came up: home repairs or a constant feeling of financial insufficiency. Sala kept her money in what she thought was a safe place, under her bed, believing it was protected there and that keeping it close while she slept would keep it secure. One day, Sala decided to visit an elderly Buddhist nun, known in the village for her wisdom about home energies. After expressing her concerns about her finances, the nun asked her a simple question that would forever change Sala's perspective. "Where do you store your money?" Surprised, Sala responded, "Under my bed, teacher. I thought keeping it close would ensure its safety." The nun slowly nodded with a thoughtful expression. "I see, but do you know what happens to the energy you keep under your bed? Come with me to your old boxes. I want to show you something." Indeed, Sala's money was hidden in a corner. With a gentle gesture, the elderly woman asked Sala to retrieve the money and sat beside her on the floor. "The space under your bed," said the nun, "is where you rest, where you disconnect from the world. It's a place of inactivity and stillness. Think about this. When you sleep, your energy calms and life pauses for a few hours. The money you store here is also trapped in that same stillness, as if you put it to sleep alongside you." Sala tried to understand. "Money," continued the nun, "is like a river. It needs to flow, to move freely, and to be in places where energy is active and vital. By hiding it under your bed, you stop its movement, trapping it in a space where energy can't circulate. Keeping it here is like closing the door to the flow of prosperity in your life." Sala sat in silence, contemplating these words. "But I thought that by keeping it close while I slept, I was protecting it," she said. The elderly woman nodded empathetically. "It's natural to want to protect your money, but it also needs to be in a place where the energy is alive. Have you noticed that despite saving, you always feel like your money slips away? That's because by keeping it in one place, its energy stagnates. The space under your bed is full of static energy, and even the objects you store there reflect that stagnation. How can your money grow and multiply if you keep it trapped in such an inactive place? Salah looked under the bed and realized how many forgotten and disorganized things she had stored there, gathering dust and blocking the flow of energy. The nun smiled again and said, "What I suggest is that you clean this space. Not only remove the money, but also everything else you've trapped here. Free this place from inactivity, and you'll see how, little by little, the flow of prosperity will start moving in your life." Salah followed the nun's advice. Not only did she remove her money from under the bed, but she also cleaned the space entirely, leaving it clear and allowing the energy to flow freely. Over time, Salah began to notice small changes in her financial situation. It wasn't a radical transformation, but there was a steady flow of opportunity and a peace of mind she hadn't experienced before. She understood that the place where we store our money is not just a physical space, but a reflection of how energy flows in our lives. The place where you store your money matters more than you think, the nun had said, and Salah finally understood its meaning. Money, like all things in life, responds to energy. Just as you wouldn't leave your dreams trapped in the dark, you shouldn't allow your prosperity to stagnate in a place where energy doesn't move. Place number 2. Kitchen drawers. Let's move on to the second place you should avoid storing money: kitchen drawers. It might seem convenient due to its accessibility, but in reality, it can be one of the worst places to keep your money. Let's explore why. The kitchen is a place of transformation, where raw ingredients become meals that nourish and sustain our lives. It's a space full of activity and energy, where essential processes for our well-being take place. However, kitchen drawers, those small, often chaotic spaces, don't reflect the vitality and movement of the kitchen. Drawers are usually filled with utensils, papers, and small objects that accumulate over time. This accumulation can create a sense of chaos and disorder. In Buddhist teachings, order is crucial for energy to flow freely. A disorganized drawer represents trapped energy, a place where things are mixed and clarity is lost in the clutter. If you decide to store money in a kitchen drawer, you're mixing it with this chaotic energy. Instead of being a place of growth and prosperity, the drawer symbolizes a space where money is surrounded by unrelated objects and papers, lacking any connection to abundance. This lack of order and clarity can directly affect your relationship with money. Imagine that money, as a form of energy, needs an environment where it can move and thrive. When it's stored in a disorganized drawer, it's trapped in a space where it can't grow or multiply. The energy around it is the same as the forgotten objects and accumulated clutter, creating a barrier to the flow of abundance. Instead of letting your money mingle with the chaos of the drawer, find a place free of clutter. An organized and tidy space reflects an environment where energy can flow and prosper. Consider using a safe, a specific folder for important documents, or any other place that allows you to store money in a clear and accessible environment. Remember, the way you handle and store your money is an extension of how you value your prosperity. Avoid places that symbolize disorder and chaos. Instead, choose a space where your money can feel protected and in harmony with the flow of positive energy. An organized environment will attract more abundance into your life, while disorder will only serve to scatter your economic opportunities. Place number 3. The bathroom. Let me share a story that illustrates why keeping money in the bathroom can be one of the worst decisions for your prosperity. Many years ago, in a small village, there lived a wise old man named Tenzin. Tenzin was known for his profound wisdom and his ability to help people understand the flow of energy in their lives. One day, a young woman named Salah, who was going through financial difficulties, came to him seeking advice. Salah was desperate to improve her financial situation and had heard rumors about an old trick involving keeping money in the bathroom, hoping it would bring her luck. She decided to follow this advice and began storing small amounts of money in a drawer. At first, Salah thought she was doing the right thing, but over time, her financial problems did not improve. In fact, she felt her situation was becoming even more precarious. She decided to seek help from Tenzin, hoping he could offer a solution. Tenzin listened attentively to Salah's story, and then asked her to show him the bathroom where she kept her money. When they arrived, Tenzin examined the space thoughtfully and began to explain calmly and clearly. "Salah," began Tenzin, "the bathroom is a place where we purify ourselves and get rid of what we no longer need. The water flowing through the pipes symbolizes elimination, the constant flow of what is no longer valuable. When you keep money in the bathroom, you are essentially placing your wealth in a space associated with waste and disregard. In Buddhist teachings, we understand that money is a form of energy. This energy needs to be in a place that reflects care and prosperity. The bathroom, while essential for cleaning and purification, is also a place of waste, a space where what we don't want is sent down the drain." The old man took a small bowl of water and poured it gently down the drain. "Think of money as this water," continued Tenzin. "When it's in the bathroom, it risks being swept away by the flow of elimination. If you want your wealth to grow and be preserved, you should place it in a space that reflects care and respect, not in a space associated with waste." Salah was struck by the wisdom in Tenzin's words. From that day on, she decided to change her approach. Instead of keeping her money in the bathroom, she placed it in a safe in a well-organized and well-lit area of her home. She also began to treat her finances with greater attention and respect. Over time, Salah noticed a significant improvement in her financial situation. Her prosperity began to flow more naturally, and her financial problems eased. She had learned a valuable lesson about the connection between the environment of her money and her financial well-being. "The bathroom," explained Tenzin, "is a place of elimination, not accumulation. Your money deserves a space where it can flourish and grow, not one where it risks being lost or diminished. So remember, the bathroom is not a suitable place for your wealth. Choose an environment that reflects prosperity and care, and you will see your financial situation improve as the energy of abundance flows more freely in your life. As positive energy begins to flow, treat your money as you would your well-being, and your prosperity will flourish." 34. Place number 4. The storage room or basement. Let me share a story that illustrates why the storage room or basement can be one of the worst places to keep your money, and how this can directly affect your prosperity. Long ago, in a mountainous village, there lived a man named Luden. Luden was a diligent worker, but despite his efforts, he always seemed to struggle financially. No matter how hard he worked, money never seemed to stay in his hands for long. It felt as if every time he earned something, it quickly disappeared. One day, Luden decided to visit a Buddhist sage named Master Sen, known for his profound teachings on energy and prosperity. Luden explained his situation in hopes of receiving guidance on how to improve his financial life. Master Sen listened attentively and then asked Luden to describe where he kept his money at home. Luden, somewhat embarrassed, admitted that he stored his money in the basement, hidden in a box, among many other old and unused items. The sage smiled with understanding and said, "Come with me to your home. I want to see this place for myself." They arrived at Luden's house and descended into the basement. The space was dark, filled with dusty boxes, broken objects and old furniture. The air was dense and heavy, and the silence was unsettling. Master Sen stopped in the middle of the basement and looked at Luden. "This place," said the sage in a soft but firm voice, "is filled with what you have forgotten. Here, things that are no longer useful, that no longer have life, accumulate. Everything you see here is trapped in the past, stagnant and purposeless. Just like these forgotten objects, your money is also trapped here." Luden listened, intrigued. "But Master, I thought I was protecting my money by hiding it here, where no one could find it," he said. The sage smiled gently. "I understand your intention, but you've overlooked something important. Money is energy, and like all energy, it needs to flow, move, and be surrounded by vitality. When you hide it in a place like this, full of stagnant and forgotten things, you are symbolizing that your money is also trapped and forgotten. You are creating a blockage in the flow of your prosperity." Master Sen picked up a small, dusty wooden box and opened it. Inside were some bills Luden had saved years ago. "This money," said the sage, "like these objects, has been completely forgotten. It has been here so long that its energy is trapped. The basement and storage room are places where life doesn't flow, where the past accumulates with no space for the new. If your money remains here, it is surrounded by the same stagnant energy." Luden looked around, realizing the truth in the sage's words. Suddenly, everything made sense. His money was buried in a place where energy was blocked, and this was affecting his ability to bring in new opportunities. "If you want your prosperity to grow," continued the sage, "you need to keep your money in a place where the energy is alive, where light and movement flow. The basement symbolizes the past and inactivity. Your money shouldn't be here with what is no longer alive." With these words, Luden decided to make a change. He began by cleaning his basement, getting rid of items he no longer needed, and organizing what was still useful. But most importantly, he moved his money from that dark place to a brighter, more active area of his home where it could receive respect and attention. Over time, Luden noticed that his financial situation began to improve. It didn't happen overnight, but gradually, by changing the energy in his home, he also changed the energy in his life. Money began to flow more freely, and the economic opportunities that once seemed scarce started to appear. This story reminds us that where we keep our money is more than just a physical choice. It's a reflection of how we manage the energy of prosperity in our lives. The way we store our money reflects how we treat and value it. Disorganized, forgotten, or dark spaces like storage rooms and basements can obstruct the flow of prosperity. If you want to attract abundance, ensure that your money is kept in a place where energy flows with clarity and vitality. Place number 5, old clothes or pockets. Let me share a story that demonstrates why keeping money in old clothes or pockets can be detrimental to your prosperity and how this practice can affect your financial well-being. In a small monastery, there lived a monk named Tenzin. Tenzin had dedicated much of his life to meditation and living simply. His clothes were modest, and he always wore an old robe that had belonged to his master. This robe symbolized wisdom and gratitude, but over time it had become more of a nostalgic relic than a practical garment. One day, while cleaning his cell, Tenzin discovered a pouch of money he had forgotten at the bottom of one of his drawers. He realized that he had stored these coins a long time ago when they had been donated to his monastery. Without thinking much about it, he had placed the coins in the pocket of his master's old robe while preparing for a journey. Needing some money for provisions, recalling the coins in the old robe, Tenzin retrieved them and noticed that they were dirty, rusted, and looked abandoned. After his trip, Tenzin visited his spiritual master, an old sage who lived in a monastery high in the mountains. He shared the story of the forgotten coins and how they seemed to have lost their shine, as if time and neglect had diminished their value. The old man listened attentively and then smiled tenderly. Tenzin, the elder said, coins, like everything in this world, respond to the way we treat them. You stored this money in a forgotten place, a place that symbolizes the past. Your master's old robe is no longer a garment for daily use, but a relic of memory. By placing the money in that old pocket, you condemned it to remain trapped in time, unable to move or renew itself. The coins that once shone with potential are now dulled by neglect. Tenzin looked at the elder, intrigued but confused. Money is living energy, continued the elder. Just like everything that circulates in the universe, it requires respect, attention, and an appropriate place to prosper. When you put it in an old pocket or in clothing you no longer wear, you are essentially saying that you don't care enough about it. Just as relationships and opportunities need to be honored, money needs to be valued. Storing it in old clothes reflects a disconnection from the present and a lack of attention to your prosperity. The elder paused, looking deeply at Tenzin. Remember this. When you store money in forgotten places like old clothes or worn-out pockets, you are also neglecting your relationship with abundance. You send a message to the universe that you do not value that energy. Money is not merely material. It reflects how we interact with the world. If you treat it carelessly, it will respond in kind. Tenzin reflected on these words as he looked at the coins in his hand. He realized that by storing money in a garment he no longer wore, he had neglected his own prosperity, allowing the value of those coins to fade over time, just as his connection to the energy of money had faded. After this enlightening conversation, Tenzin made a significant change. He no longer stored money in old clothes or forgotten pockets. Instead, he found a special place in his cell, where the coins could be organized and cared for in an open area, clean and bathed in the morning sunlight. This small adjustment not only improved his relationship with money, but also transformed his perception of abundance and respect for resources. Tenzin learned that money, like everything in life, needs a proper home. Place number 6, under the refrigerator. Imagine Asma, a woman who had always been meticulous about saving money. Despite her careful efforts, she noticed that her savings seemed to disappear, and she had trouble tracking them. One day, while cleaning her house, Asma decided to move the refrigerator to sweep behind it. To her surprise, she discovered a small, dusty envelope that had been crushed under the heavy appliance. Inside, she found money she had hidden years ago, thinking it was a safe place. Asma realized that, symbolically, she had been treating her money as something to hide and keep static, instead of allowing it to circulate freely in her life. Understanding this, she decided to make a change. She took the money out from under the refrigerator, carefully cleaned it, and placed it in a more open space where the energy could flow freely. Additionally, she adopted a new attitude towards her finances. Instead of hiding or fearing loss, she began treating them with respect, allowing them to grow and flow naturally. Asma's experience teaches a valuable lesson. Heavy appliances like refrigerators or washing machines symbolize weight, immobility, and stagnation. Hiding money beneath them can symbolize burying your prosperity under their weight. No matter how much money you have, or how secure you think it is, if it's stored in a place where energy can't flow, your wealth will be limited. So, when deciding where to store your savings, remember Asma's story. Money, like a plant, needs light and space to grow. Avoid hiding it in dark corners or under heavy objects. Instead, find a place that allows movement, expansion, and openness. Only then will you allow the energy of money to flow more abundantly. Place number 7. In a broken or worn-out wallet. Once upon a time, there was a man named Gale who had a stable job and enough to live comfortably, but he felt that his finances were stagnant. Despite his efforts to save, his bank account seemed to empty quickly, and he struggled to accumulate a significant amount. One day, while walking through the market, Gale noticed an old man selling handicrafts. The old man's serene expression contrasted with the market's bustle, drawing Gale's attention. Intrigued, Gale decided to buy a small charm. As he pulled out his wallet, the old man noticed its worn and tattered state. "That wallet, it has seen better days," the old man gently remarked. Gale, somewhat embarrassed, admitted that he had had it for years and continued using it because it was practical. The old man smiled kindly and explained, "In our tradition, we believe that everything in our lives has energy, including the most mundane objects. Your wallet is more than just a place to keep your money. It's a symbol of how you value your finances. If it's broken and worn out, it reflects a lack of care toward your own abundance. How can you expect money to flow to you if the container you use is in poor condition? It's like inviting a guest to stay in a house that's falling apart. The energy of abundance needs a decent place to reside." Gale was struck by the old man's words. He had never considered that his worn-out wallet might reflect a disconnection in how he treated his finances. He realized that storing money in a broken wallet was an unconscious reflection of how little importance he placed on his prosperity. The old man continued, "Respect for material possessions is essential, not because money is the most important thing, but because everything has energy. A well-kept wallet sends a message to the universe that you respect and value the abundance that comes to you." Inspired by this lesson, Gale bought a new wallet from the old man, a simple but beautiful leather piece. He began handling his money with gratitude and respect, remembering the old man's advice to care for the container of his prosperity. Over time, Gale noticed a change. Not only was he able to save more, but he also developed a healthier relationship with his money. He no longer saw it as something that disappeared, but as something that flowed to and from him, moving like energy itself. Gale learned that the state of your wallet reflects how you value your prosperity. It's not just about money, but about your relationship with the blessings that come into your life. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and remember to write, "Wealth and prosperity come to my life," to further activate positive energy and solidify your intention to attract powerful prosperity from the universe. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Share this video with your loved ones so they too can benefit. Thank you for staying with us until the end, and until next time, dear friends.